Hello everyone, Courtney Adams here with Gather with Purpose, and for this video how-to, I'm going to show you guys how to effectively use the idea and concept of a brain dump, okay? So it's a really simple idea and it really doesn't need to be overthought. So what it's going to do is it's going to take that overthinking in here, it's going to put it down on paper, and then it's going to allow you to see it all beautifully laid out, okay? So first up, you need a notebook. It can look whatever you want it to look like, and it can be whatever size you need it to be, but it needs to be a notebook that's going to motivate you to open it and to use it, okay? So that's first things first. Next, you just need to open it and use it. And as you can see, this is my brain dump notebook from about the past 2 years, maybe not that long. See, I even have papers that are falling out of it, and that's okay. So that's part of the brain dump, is that you just kind of dump all of it out. So before I dig into a new brain dump session, I've got a blank page here. I'm going to talk a little bit about the idea behind the brain dump. So all day long, you are gathering ideas and you're storing things up in your head. And a lot of times you don't take the time, energy, or effort to really sit down and write down what's going on up here. So you just let it mull. You just let it kind of hang out, and it just sits there and it cycles. Have you ever woken up at night and had a thought that you needed to do something right away or write it down? Raise your hand. Everybody should be raising their hand. Everybody has been awakened in the middle of the night by something that was going on in their brain that they held onto. The idea of the brain dump is to allow your brain and your mind and your headspace to be at peace, to find a really happy, slower pace. And to do that, we have to unload what's in here and put it somewhere else. And pen to paper is such a good way to do that. There are so many wonderful studies that show the significance of taking what's in your head and writing it out and putting it onto a piece of paper, as opposed to typing it or texting it into your phone or your iPad or whatever. Writing it down, there is something about that that builds connection in your brain, okay? It also gets it out of your head. So when you take what's in your head that's floating around and you take it to pen and paper and you write it down, it's done. It doesn't hang out in here anymore. It is now in here. And the beautiful thing about it being on here is that you can see it better. It's like the idea of the overview. So if you are a bird flying over the land, you have a better idea of the land, right? You can see things better. This is the land, and you are looking at it from above. You have a better idea of what it looks like, of where to go, what to do, how to process, where to move forward with everything, because you have given yourself an overview. I will also say that a lot of times you're going to realize that you are holding on to that for no good reason, and that writing it down solidified and made you realize that you just need to let that thing go. Okay, you don't need to think about it anymore. You don't need to hold on to it. It's not worth your time, energy, or effort. And you have now released it from you, and you've given yourself more space. Here's the other really cool thing about the activity of a brain dump, is that once you get it out of your head onto the piece of paper, your brain has now been given more room. So you have more room to be creative. You have more room to grow and expand on things. You have more room to think of new things. But as you hold on to stuff, it takes up space. And there's less likelihood of you being creative, of you adding more things that you can think on and ponder and create and grow and really have fun with, all right? So the brain dump is such a simple tool that you can use for anything and everything. A house project, work, if you're a homeschooling mama, homeschool, if you are a teacher, a new game or a new activity or a new layout or a new curriculum, whatever the case may be, something at work, okay? Just maybe chores for children or discipline within the home or whatever. A brain dump can work forever. It is not just for a business. It is not just for work, okay? It can literally be for anything and everything, and it is so simple. And so sometimes what it looks like is it looks like a list, okay? It looks like a list, and then it looks like some detailing about that list. It can also look like, I'm trying to see, I don't know if you guys remember like when you were in high school and you did the whole English exercise where you had the circle and then you had the legs that came out from it and the other bubbles. It looks like a spider web almost. That is another way to brain dump. You have your main topic in the center and you've got all of these things coming out from it, and you can kind of go through it and figure out what is worthwhile, what will help this, what won't, do I need to keep, do I need to delete. You can also have a chart and a box. Guys, the brain dump can be whatever you need it to be, but it's getting it out of your head, putting it down on paper, and giving you that overview. Do not discount this activity. This is huge. Pen to paper is huge. It creates brain waves and brain circuits. Okay, you redefine paths with something like this, and it can really give you a good idea of what is worthwhile and what isn't, as opposed to just trying to hold all of it up there and keep it all in your brain. You can't do it. You're going to forget things. And one of the beautiful things about a brain dump is it actually allows you to release things, but knowing that you have a safe place to come back to check it out. So I don't know about you, but if I hold on to things too long, some of the older stuff just kind of goes away, and then I stew on it trying to think, okay, what was that? What did I forget? I need to figure out what that was, and I spend too much time on it. And so a brain dump allows me to dump it all out onto a piece of paper and to make more room. I cannot stress this simple activity enough, and it is so helpful for anything in your life. So if you are new to the brain dump, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to share this video with somebody who you think could use this. So this is great too if you're ADHD, or if you have focus issues, or you have executive functioning issues, things like that. This is really great for that, because you can just keep this with you and you can write it down as you need to and then check back in with it at the end of the day. So I would love to know what you think about this idea. If you're doing the brain dump idea, please let me know how it's going, and if you have any extra tips and tricks, add those to the comments to help everybody else that watches this. Thank you so much for tuning in, and let me know if you have any questions, and everyone have a wonderful day.